Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one we're taking a look at the weekend Feud Prizewall, the stuff on there. Gonna kind of do a breakdown on it. So one thing I do want to point out, just looking at this like straight off, in my opinion, this is the best shard Prizewall we have seen in a very long time. There's a lot of high quantity, relevant superstar shards in here that are still quite good. Some that have been very hard to obtain. So I actually think this is a fantastic prize wall to go get some shards, right? I do want to mention starting off though, if I did not have a yeet plate, it has got a lot of really strong landing spots that where it can go, and it adds 500% gem damage. So if I got 40 tokens and if I didn't have a yeet plate, I would probably go that route first, barring a couple exceptions. Um, and those would be I just want to mention I tend to not use superstars a super long time. They tend to have a short shelf life as fighters. What I do use for a very, very long time are the entourage abilities. Uncle Howdy's entourage ability is one of one. It does things that no other multiply trainer can do. It works on countdowns, jugs, and that kind of thing. So it's literally one of the best trainers in the coaches entourage in the game, in my opinion. It's like a 10 of 10, one that you're always going to want. So I really put high value on those. Also, Braun Breaker. He only This is the best value on the price wall. He's a dual MP trainer, yellow and blue. I use him all the time. Um, a lot of you maybe don't put as high value on dual MP trainers, but being able to load 10 MP to start is huge, especially now that we're starting to see a lot of these reversal people when you increase MP. If you start loaded, that reversal is negated, right? And this is a big quantity, 225 shards for only 4 tokens. And you can buy it 5 times. So I think by far, actually, in a way, the best value on this prize wall is the Braun Breaker shard, simply because of how amazing his coaching ability is. He's also not a bad fighter with a middle lane bonus, right? So I do think that's like some of the best value there. Honestly, at this point, this Drew, not a good fighter. His entourage was kind of outclassed and eclipsed by Tama Tonga. So I wouldn't really personally worry about when you recruit Drew. I don't think it's that important. Brett's entourage when he released was amazing, but we got all of the zombie coaches that now have 40% a specific color and 60% multiply. It made Brett a lot less exciting. So I'm not nearly as big on him anymore. Rocker's pretty outclassed at this point. Sammy is not good. So I'm not, particularly huge on those. Julius is very, very good with at the least a Tama plate. If you have a Tama plate, Julius is a very good tech. Personally, I feel like, to a point, Mercy and Ilya are both better. But as we start seeing more straps and higher health, the fact that you can Tama plate and it's a trap primary plate on Julius and hit for like 180 million is quite attractive. So I still think he has plenty of juice left in him. Umaga, not really worth it in my opinion. This is a lot of Rex Regum shards. There have been not a lot of chances to get him. He's still a very, very good showboat. So I like those shards. I'm not the biggest fan of Liv Morgan at all. She's serviceable, but like Charlotte May can do just as good a job. Charlotte's the same era, so whatever there. Jacob's a very, very good acro, one of the better ones. So, and that's a good chunk of shards right there. Lyra Valkyria, crazy, crazy good Lady Acrobat. Ton of different ways you can run her. Ton of different plates. Can hit ridiculously hard as well. Her and Indy, two best acros in the game. Nikki, now that we're seeing increased health pools and all of that stuff lately in the game, whether it's the bonuses or buffs, I will give her the nod over Chelsea now. by a clear margin, simply because even Chelsea's super duper top end can run into some issues now with where the game is going, and seeing that we had the 40% health in Feud again this weekend seems like it's there to stay. So big fan of Nikki. Roman, you know, I'm gonna say something unpopular here. I don't even think he's the best striker. I think Hall of Fame Ron and Jay Uso Yeet are the best strikers now. He'd follow at 3, but he's also very good for boss, so not as big a fan there. Really like Yeet. Asuka's a very good showboat. Almost as good as Rhea, I think, but not quite. CM Punk's a pretty good acro. Very good, actually, so there's that. Muscleman Bray, not one of the best strikers, but can still get it done. And, of course, Bray. Mommy's the best lady showboat. Not hugely better than Asuka, but definitely better. So I get that. And then Howdy is a solid fighter, but in crazy, crazy good coach. So personally, I think for the shards, obviously, if you recruit somebody, you have to decide what's best for your roster. But Braun Breaker and Howdy, 1A, 1B as trainers, I think those are the best things to go for personally. Those, I think, I could make a case would be even better to go for than the Yeet plate if it recruits either of them for you. But if you are somebody that has trouble, like, normally getting ultimate plates, and you got lucky and on a small pull or bag pulled like Alexa Bliss, so you got a bunch of extra medallions, and this is your one chance for a Yeet, I would say you probably got to take that. I'm not crazy about the 150% straps, definitely not for the Jessie one. Alexa actually uses a lot of gem damage, but I don't like chasing these unless there's nothing else better on the wall. This 2 times modern trickster affiliations, if you don't have them, are great. I would recommend having one for Uncle Howdy if you have Uncle Howdy. I affiliate my Uncle Howdy. I have a lot of people I like coaching him on, and using 2 at once is great. So I do think that's pretty decent value at Modern Era Trickster. I'm sure there's some others. That's just the first one that comes to mind. Don't particularly like random era class gem damage strap. At least it is 150, but it's a random era and class, so good luck. Ultimate random affiliation for 3 is okay. Painter Play Bliss, they've given it away a few times, so I personally wouldn't use the 7 on this. I think getting specific guaranteed shards is the way to go. So obviously I don't like the loot pulls. The Buzzard Beak is in the Showdown store, 250,000 Showdown currency. So I wouldn't use my currency on this wall to get that when I could get it for free in the Showdown store if I was patient. Baddest Jacket, I don't think is worth the 5. It's been available a lot. Typically it's lower price, so not super worried about that. Loot pulls, not a fan of using the 7 for those. I'd rather take guaranteed shards any day of the week. And then these are just resources. You guys know how I feel about that. I'm not a big fan of resources. I do props to Scopely for this weekend prize wall. A lot of these shards don't have super high pricing either. It looks like you guys will have choices of at least getting a set of shards of somebody decent, whether, you know, it's Braun Breaker, whether it's Julius, Rex, Regum, Mercy. I mean, it's a really, really good prize wall. So, as I always say, when you're making choices for your roster, try and pick somebody like, let's say you're weak at Lady Acrobat, and Lyra's far and away the biggest needle mover for you. Makes sense to get her shards. If you're super weak at Male Acrobat, Jacob's a huge needle mover for you. It would make sense to get his shards, right? But like if you're loaded at Showboat and you got like all the best, you got like Sammy, you got Vader, you know, you got Seth freaking Rollins completely tricked out, although I do like Rex Regum more than Seth freaking Rollins, but you know, you get the idea. You got Gunther, then maybe you don't care as much about Rex Regum. If you have Illy and Julius, maybe you don't care about as much about Mercy the Buzzard, right? So just try and make good choices for your roster. And then you really can't go wrong on prize walls as long as you are trying to build your roster that way, right? Like always trying to improve it, what makes it better. And then there's also long view stuff. Eventually, one day you'll recruit Howdy if you're always picking up his shards. He's a crazy good coach. So, you know, don't be afraid to take the long view now and resist the urge for instant gratification, unless it's quite good instant gratification, right? So those are my thoughts on the prize wall. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of the Prizewall breakdowns, make sure and let me know. I don't always do them because sometimes I feel like you guys don't have much for choices. I do feel like there's a lot of choices for you guys here, though. So other than that, guys, thanks for watching and good luck out there. Oh, yeah, also remember to like, subscribe, and share because that really helps me out. Really, really good Prizewall. I'm a fan of this weekend Prizewall.